Welcome, welcome to my lovely IHP community and the 5D collective. As we were chit-chatting in our shorts, Shiva and Kali, or Kali and Shiva, we had a bit of the story. So to be yourself mindfully with integrity as a mystic, mentor, content creator, and podcast host, I get to make fun of the ones who don't want to be that. And while we have our own sirens, which is not the modulated, dysregulated embodiment, but it is sloppiness on very small scales, those of us who are lovers, we do know that all of us can make use of good therapy because, again, that inner child, especially when you have an ecosystem. And so for the lovely divine feminine and divine masculine, understanding and wisdom, my divine feminine, my divine masculine, okay, and then it's my masculine, my feminine. I get to be a whole self because I know how to be the one for me, because I'm safe to be Maria with her flaws and imperfections, and that's why being yourself mindfully is fun. And so you create resiliency in the restorative embodiment because you're a self-aware, accountable, regulating person. And so you don't have the animal kingdom that you can't travel. No, you know how to get into your ventral vagal state, and you know when people are not able to get there. And so when you meet the ones who live hell in their body, they are, again, exiles, protectors. It's called projection. You'll notice the adaptive child part as they pretend to know everything and that they're healed. Their comedian act is unseen, shadow work. They do it on a screen. They become flat earthers. They get into groups and they believe that they have mastered life instead. Well, not really, but we're going to leave them to believe because they'll believe in their belief. We'll believe in our beliefs. And at the end of the day, as our lovely Sadhguru points out, in the marketplace, it is considered smart to give less and take more. In a genuine relationship, you give whatever you can without caring what you get back. And as he also shares, your life is your making. God does not interfere with it. I learned that from my catechists as well. And as Ruth Ruksinski, PhD, shares, by nurturing the ideals and values that might be connected to past experiences, because functional child adults, again, are past, we get to, with mindfulness practices, have the capacity to mindset skills, sift sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. And because I'm in the kind intention, I get to use the entirety of my brain, and I got a prefrontal cortex. And so by being self-aware, accountable, and regulating, I can use therapy to be mediator, but the point is it's the prefrontal cortex that I have online even in the absence. And so when past comes up, I'm Maria with the inner growth mindset, self-help, personal development, and spiritual development. Okay, so that's where one-on-one with yourself, with me, our group, and then workshops, retreats, therapists are still, we work together because, again, they have a buttload more of information. I'm just attachment trauma informed. So when it comes to couples, I always share my food for thought to any couple: therapy, 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 therapy. But why, Maria? Because they get to help you with those first 3 years of life, the first 8, excuse me. We're all a first 8, including me. I do Dharma, but my karma lives through me. And so there's still subconscious and conscious stuff that comes up. And having those who are good, the good ones, they don't pathologize you. They know how to help, like Pat Ogden tells you to conclude, to perform the protective movement and stuff like that. And so it helps you to continue with your healing and find meaning in life, which is where the people who need Patrick Tiahan first, it's because first you need to love yourself first, then your partner material. And your partner material, because you know that only emotionally immature people confuse shutting down for strength. So emotionally mature people don't shut down and they have open hearts, and then that means that we fly together. Okay, so we're supportive, we don't flip-flop, but when you have people who do flip-flop, it's because, as Bessel van der Kolk points out, every part of the brain is affected by trauma. The right brain lights up more, the left brain is shut down more, the back of the brain is more hyperactive, the front of the brain becomes less active. And again, people who don't care about their relationships, they don't bother with getting emotionally mature. They just crap on compassion. They crap on modern day therapy. They crap on all of it. And then you hear them telling you they know how to be everything and anything. I'm a healer. How dare you trauma dump? Sure. So the symbolism of Kali killing Shiva that I shared with you in our short, a little bit of the story, and I might go back if we have a little bit more time. You can have such mastery over life that life and death are both so completely in your hands that you can dismantle life and put it back again. You can even kill the divine and bring him back. This is not a feat that you are trying to show off to somebody. It is because you want to have such mastery over life. So he's saying you're not doing this because of little fancy, which is why at IHP we only have genuinely authentic people who understand the value of putting mindfulness into practice, not a Zen master with laundry. And that's because you have genuine mindset skills, which is also why you understand with our polysecure community, we're not all masochists. And with our monosecure community, they are open to polysecure. And with our securely attached, non-traumatized, self-led, grown-up community, we know when we spot Cusco and we know when we spot Pacha. And that's because self-awareness is not enough. I take accountability for my child parts coming up, like I do with my mom, my 3-year-old, and my twin. And then I learn to see what I can do to regulate and not bring my child part charged into the room. But I am proactively able to do that because I contain sensations, images, behaviors, affects, meanings. That means that I can pause it. I know I can. And not that I am watching myself continue to behave like a bunch of people I know as they're telling me I like to poke at people when I'm upset. And so those who are hooked on drama and they're sympathetic, essentially, hypervigilance, they will play out as your 8-year-old who's being spiteful with a 16-year-old. And when you explain to them, you can stop because you've told me now that you've observed this. No, it's hard. No, it's not hard. And if it is, okay, therapy, Patrick Jan. It means your past is living through you. So there's a very straightforward equation for a person who can be a self-aware observer who notices, okay, I want to take accountability about my shitty behavior. Or, no, but people are assholes, so why should I bother? Okay, that's your excuse. That's why they like pseudo-intellectuals who say lack of imagination for evil, or it's dangerous to have no emotions, or as Zen Master says, you cannot physically be enlightening all the time, because anybody who doesn't know how to navigate their ventral vagal state doesn't actually know how to for reasons that are very important, and they don't take them seriously. And I take seriously healing trauma, which is why, again, the person here in front of you definitely will always say yes to couples therapy, yes to individual therapy. If you need it, individual, you'll know. Couples, you and another human being have been strangers for the first 16, 20, depends when you met. And, at the end of the day, in the year 2025, all I can tell you is after 20 years and growing, bunch of people who I grew up with, my facade friend taught me how not to get in anybody's face when I meet their exiles, protectors, insecure, blah, 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 because that's what they're doing over you, blah, 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 blah. And I don't want to deal with any of their teenager version because it's a very, very boring moment. And as God keeps chiming in, yes, God, I am judging human suffering, a waste of my fucking time, but I know I will, Buddha in time, make fun of you less. Not you, Buddha. The whole Buddhism, the number one truth, this life, this very existence is suffering. And if you say no, then you're not. Yes, I'm not a Buddhist. I'm actually a Christian Catholic. I love you, Jesus. Thank you so much. Thanks to you, I chose to not suffer any day of my life, to not disrespect, because I'm a good girl, remember? My perfectionism. Oh, I do remember. I'm so sorry, I was casting a stone. And that's because I don't cast stones. Now I just get told to stop judging human suffering by God. And then Divinity Akash Source reminds me, Maria, you're all one big cloth. Remember, you're the piece of love consciousness. They're choosing to be the piece of fear consciousness. I'm not laughing because it's funny. Everyone can be pure love. You all have soul inside of you, but I can't make you. It's not one emotion. It's just called fulfillment because our ventral vagal state. It's really fun to be your whole self. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. Again. Big girls, they do a cry, yes they do. And big boys, they also cry, and yes they do. Tell me why, because we don't navigate any of that which is our ignorance. We navigate what is called, wow, I got love. I got love, and I got basically a ventral vagal state. So I like to make fun, but it's that easy. I enjoy mastery of Maria. So as I was saying, I'm Kali with Shiva and Krishna Lila. I embody the empowered feminine, and when you meet any masculine, you're not going to make them get empowered. No, that's not my place. Thank you, God. I'm so sorry. I'm not God, FYI. Just reminding you all, there's only one intelligence, divinity, dark matter, dark energy. Masculines get to choose if they want to be empowered or not. That means they get to choose if they want to use two sides of the brain or not. Structural dissociation isn't very interesting to see, and when you see it and you actually explain it and they say again, if people are assholes, why do I have to go and do shit? And so in years, I've met people who suffer in their body with not secure attachment, and they get explained things and they don't think they need anything, and they continue to vibe in the very same low frequency of suffering. It's not fun, but fear does have a place. It's called a lower torus field. Again, I'm a woo-woo pseudoscience. I believe in sciences. Science looks into consciousness. They just don't believe in God. It's okay. We don't make anybody into a believer. You can't make me into a not believer. But I do know that any of my cherishable beliefs can be falsifiable. What, are you stupid? No, I'm not. I'm an integrated brain. And I'm a functional child adult. So anytime you hear the word stupid, just remember, it's somebody who doesn't like what you just did. I love it. I have a good time. Isn't it fun? I almost feel a little bit like Loki. You may be right. I may be crazy. But it might just be a lunatic you're looking for. But it's a fun Loki, not an asshole one. And when you meet the asshole ones, they're still fun. Because again, an empowered feminine, masculine, what's up? Who are you throwing into your cauldron today? What seaweed? Who? Ursula, who did you trick? Did you trick somebody who decided not to go to Patrick Tan and continue to be the messy disaster that they were yesterday because they don't believe in childhood trauma actually ruling every single moment of their life? Or Gabor Mate, who tells them about a bad gut and they still have a bad gut? It's really annoying to see people use words and not know how to be on all the time. You can't always be on. Wow, okay, I mean, I know I'm Miss Perfect, but gosh darn it, I'm 45. You're like 80 almost. What the fuck? Where are you learning shit from? Who's talking to you? Dr. Daniel Siegel, come help me, please. I feel like a kid when I call my experts. They're not mine, but you know what I'm saying. So when I think of these human beings, I'm like, Dr. Dana, I have questions for you. Why don't you make them all go get therapy? Like, make them. They're therapists. They have to. Shouldn't they be like whole selves by now? You know how important it is for them not to be triggered in one of their states of self by the tone of my voice. What's the deal? Why are they not taking it seriously? And that's why I'm still the serious 4-year-old that got rejected by boys and sent home because I wanted to sit them down and read to them. I was going to read to them Sleeping Beauty. It wasn't even any of my attachment trauma educational books. Oh, I love it. Okay, so unless you have some mastery over life, you cannot do anything. Yes, non-bilaterally integrated brain people, they don't find themselves energized. They don't know how to do mindfulness. As your ventral vagal state. I'm just letting you know, everyone has some mastery over life. Yes, I do. Very, very much so. So the level of mastery that you have determines how much you can do. And that's why restorative embodiment, you say, yes, integration, yes, resiliency, because really, the choo-choo train made it over the hump. Anyone can make it over the hump. I love the mastery of anger, sadness. Fear was the toughest one. Really, the panic attacks. I'm not even kidding. The fear was the toughest one. And all the others are just easy peasy. Because unless somebody wants to bring me physical torture, those are people who end up... Let's not go there, because Michael Stone with his forensic criminologist scale shows you they're all emotionally low on the intelligence scale. That's why they get caught, like Catch Me If You Can. So really, the only ones who don't get caught are followed by utter buffoons, which is why do you really need to feel sorry for people who follow pseudo-intellectuals who are idiots? No, I'm just going to say it. I don't feel bad for them. That would be very unkind. They're not Lucifers. They are holding officially the fear spectrum. So maybe, here's a hypothesis, maybe thanks to them, dark matter and dark energy won't implode. Maybe it's thanks to our fearful brothers and sisters that there's this cosmic karmic balance. They do, after all, give us the opportunity for free will. You know, now that I think about it as love, I'm going to say I'm okay with being defeated. But I don't have fear in my body. I have love in my body. So that's where Shiva, again, thank you so much for coming our way, and Kali and Krishna Lila. The image of Kali standing on Shiva essentially symbolizes having total mastery over the process of life, which you'll have when you have a whole self, because you know your implicit, explicit memory. And your imagination, you're not deluded by it. You have a whole self, you're self-led, you're securely attached, non-traumatized. So when emotions come up and thoughts come up, you do the inner growth mindset and you add personal development, spiritual development, and you continue to expand and grow. And then for those very important things, we have our lovely therapists. Because again, I'm not kidding. When I talk to any of people, I say, look, you're able to work with you, but we'll always make sense to ourselves, as Terrio points out. And your ecosystem matters. And so don't you want to be, besides a safe haven, secure base to yourself, a securely attached, self-led, also environment the same. So we want to apply this to our own home and then to the globe. And so let's do it. We'll do it together. But baby steps, because it's easier to do it two people. For the globe, we can only replicate that with our lovely, you teach the children who teach the other children, so we don't bring forth transgenerational trauma. This is why therapy. So again, those who ignore Patrick Tiahan or say no, I've had people say, I don't want to go to therapy, as their partners presented, excuse me, if they present it, it doesn't matter, you love them, right? Then yes, that's it. If you're a couple, you're going to say yes. There's no question about it, because that's how it works. The only person who will say no, well, if you say no, then that's a red flag. That means you don't want to do something to help us work out, but also there's something going on here, because the only people who reject going to therapy, oh, FYI, good therapists, not the bad ones. I've met plenty of them. If they pathologize you and they do not involve your body and your mind and your heart, EMDR, child parts work, somatics, again, sensory motor, that's where the good trio is, that because you're a body first of all, your mind has a story for you, your child parts too. And so once again, true lovers, they have an open heart and they don't become in and out behavior. They are the one, they love themselves first, they know their needs. Okay, so every person will be a good partner to each other when they know you are good, you are wanted, you are loved for being yourself, you are seen for who you are. No, you're not, but you know who you are, and you will be seen for who you are, especially. Okay, so you choose love because you choose yourself. Otherwise, you haven't chosen love, and you don't perform for love unless you want to be a masquerade. You are not going to be a problem, nor are your needs. And you know how many people actually, again, grown-ups who don't go to therapy, and they will speak out this stuff, and I just think, wow, how old do you have to be? You are safe in here, and you want to be safe in their partnership. So the one thing that Terrio points out is you're not going to be capable, if you will, to get that safe haven, secure base. He has different ways he explains it, but I know implicit, explicit memory. So people are physiological states. Nobody actually is going to be able to stop and be the best observer of themselves in an interaction where you're getting emotional. That's the part. So the more you are in a good way, the better, the merrier. And that's why if someone says they said no, I say, well, that's not somebody who I'm going to stay with, because no means you don't care about creating a safe haven, secure base environment. And I have people who say, you're too serious. I'm not serious. I know the importance and value of mental, emotional, physical health, period. It's not to be excluded, because otherwise what kind of a household are you going to build? So again, the walking a walk and talking a talk, you will be taken care of. You want to take care of yourself, first of all. How are you waking up in the morning? How you eating habits? How you're watching habits? What kind of environment are you setting? Nobody wants to carry on trauma for children. The ones who don't care to notice how important it is, again, you will be betrayed. Yes, you will be betrayed, but if you're in with therapists, great, because you can build safe haven, secure base, and you don't get betrayed because you get to handle things with mediating. As for the outside world, I'm used to people being facades, so I don't even call it betrayal. Your presence matters. No, my presence doesn't. So that's why Shiva, I told you all about my Shiva. My Shiva, I knew that I was being given the best favor in the entirety of this world. I didn't know it, but I knew it. I said, God, I know I'll figure out what this means. Not source, universe. No, God, I'll figure it out. I'll understand at some point. And today what I can tell you is it's awesome. It's awesome to know how to be the same person that you've always considered yourself, because again, while my perfectionist personality pattern is a lot more flexible as a grown-up, what I can tell you is I will have chosen to be good most likely as a child with the, oh, yeah, I did good. But I'm a grown woman, and I can tell you I'm not good or bad. I'm just a self-led, securely attached, non-traumatized human being who is a mystic, mentor, content creator, podcast host, saying be yourself mindfully and with integrity, because it's really fun. And when you do know how to be your own functional child adult, unconditional love, you know how to share that with all people, and how people who love will want to grow together old and with that same type of environment, because every person has a child within them that will have wanted to be seen to be soothed, to be safe and to be secure, to be their 0-1-year-old, to be their 3 to 7, to be their freeze, to be their 11, 12, and 14, 15, 16. All the child parts of every single one of us. I hold every human accountable, and Maria will not be in any way, near, shape, or form in a environment that involves that I cannot express my mental, emotional, and physical woman needs. There you go. How does that sound? Good stereotypes? Awesome. So when people dismiss and diminish their own emotional, mental, and physical needs, they dismiss them in a number of ways. I don't dismiss. I just say we're all imperfect, flawed, but we all do have one thing in common. It's called I believe in angels in every single one. And love already accepted defeat. So it's not Lucifer for my brothers and sisters in hell in their body. It's called unresolved trauma, and they get to flock to the cauldrons of all those who say, I'm healed. How dare you trauma dump? And there you go, shadow on a wall. And I'm going to keep making fun of them because they make fun of us, and then they actually don't go do the one thing, which is be brave and save that which is themselves. In the meantime, spiritual bypassers and savior complex, and I get to hear, you can't always be on, and I think, oh, why are you there? I'm keeping my mouth shut on purpose because I really, really hope that this stuff gets resolved at some point, shape, or form. I'm a professional. I am an expert in self-help, personal development. I would not be here in the absence of being, yes, perfect, in letting you know how imperfect and flawed I am, but how I'm not a hypocrite. And how I spot the hypocrites, which is ego with a teenager in a room with a charge who lacks the capacity to hear. You just said, how can you always be on? You're supposed to be a professional who's experienced in how to be on. I know Deb Dana. I know she's holding her people accountable. Where'd you learn shit? Who's your accountable? Is it a wedding bells lady? Is it the intellectual, pseudo-intellectual human being who says, compassion, how dare they, and makes fun of people who are actually not to be made fun of? Anytime I'm seeing the divisive groups, they're just a bunch of wow, you're so petty, all of you. You need to spot each other like a hawk, and then you do what? You play little Cusco games. In life, it ain't how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Cheer each other, cheerleaders. They cheer each other on with the drama in their butthole. I'm just gonna let you know, I got plenty of emotions. It ain't in my visceral. It's in my and people don't know the difference until they do. So join us for mindfulness practices, for stories, for perspectives, for mindsight, and mystic. Again, I do love God. Thank you, God. And I love spirit, source, and science, and that it comes together, and that they will be looking into empirical mysticism, and that sciences and spirituality come together to prove that you can be you. I'm already me. And I love to love, and my baby, he loves to laugh and live and learn and expand and not cast stones. So catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away. We'll be back with more. Thanks for stopping by.